Hello friends, it's Candace and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going into some of my saved Instagram posts for, what am I doing? Vertical helix piercings. Now, I think most people know what helix piercings are. They're on the outer rim. I think a lot of the people who follow me probably already know what a vertical helix is, but I'm trying to gain more followers. I'm trying to spread more piercing information of just like what piercings are there sometimes. Like sometimes people just don't even know what a piercing is. You'd be surprised how many people come in and you'd be surprised how many people just like, they just point at the ear, they're like, I want this one. They have no idea what it's called. And sometimes it can be confusing. There's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of ear diagrams that just have a lot of different things labeled, a lot of different things, and a lot of those things don't match. So it can be kind of hard to like figure out what piercing you want and all that jazz. So if you're ever finding yourself wanting a piercing but you don't quite know what it's called, you've seen it called a million different things, definitely just show up with a picture to show your piercer. That way it can be a lot more quick and straightforward for you. But either way, this video is going to be talking about vertical helix piercings. Before I begin, I'm going to introduce myself. Trying to be better at this, better with this, because I don't always do it. I am a tattoo apprentice currently, and I am a piercing enthusiast. Not a piercer, I just love piercings. I love jewelry. I love sharing jewelry. I think there's not too much exposure for like safe piercing and great piercings and just really great body jewelry. I don't think there's a lot of that being shared on YouTube, which is why I just was like, you know what, like a lot of the piercing pages on YouTube irritate me as heck because I just get irritated a lot. So that's why I just took it upon myself, as not a piercer but a piercing enthusiast, to just share things, because I know I love scrolling through Instagram or Reddit and looking at all the beautiful jewelry, and this way you don't have to scroll through all that nonsense to see some great jewelry. Anyway, I've been talking for 3 minutes about absolutely nothing. So I'll just get on into this video. Like I said, we all know helix piercings. A lot of people call them cartilage piercings. They're just the outer rim of the ear, like right above the lobe, right on that outer rim. That's a regular helix piercing. A lot of people probably know what a forward helix piercing is, which is the very front of your ear. I could do a video on every type of piercing if you like. Comment down below if you'd like to see that. Especially for like misinformation, like misnamed piercings. Some things I might not even be too sure what they're specifically called because it's really not clear. And a lot of times even piercers call things by the wrong name. Who cares what the name is? Let's just figure out what the piercing is. So this video is about vertical helix piercings, which are going through basically the top of the ear. If you think about how sort of like industrials are, how they're going sideways through the helix fold, and they're coming out the side instead of going through the back of the ear. This isn't making any sense. Basically, you'll see in these pictures, you'll see in these pictures exactly what a vertical helix is, and you might be able to figure out if you might want one and all that jazz. Like there's a lot of cool styles that you can achieve with vertical helix. A lot of them can be pretty similar, but I don't think I did a video like this yet. I'm gonna be upset if I did. I don't know. Did I do a video with these already? I gotta look. Maybe I just saved them all. Okay, I'm pretty sure. Okay, I just checked. It took me a minute. I'm pretty sure I haven't made a video about vertical helix piercings specifically, but I may have shown a couple of these like in other like piercing reactions, whether it's my saved piercing folder or whatnot. But I figure a more precise video on what a vertical helix piercing is might be helpful to some people, so might as well just put them all together because I don't think I have that many saved anyway. So let's just get on into this video now that I've been talking long enough about nothing really important. When do I ever talk about anything important? Anyway, let's start with this really cool one that is, I'm not sure if this would be technically more of like an industrial / vertical helix piercing. Basically, there is one bar in a U shape. So cool. This is such a cool arrangement. This is just to show you that you can have an ear project without it being like your whole ear. Like, this person doesn't need those lobe piercings for this to be a really cool stand out like ear, really impressive like statement piercing that is super unique, and the jewelry is like super pretty. And hey, just also, you know how much I love gold, but this isn't even gold. I guess the lobes are gold, but don't look at them. I didn't save this for the gold. Like, just pointing that out. Anyway, this is super cool. It looks like an industrial. I believe that's an atypical industrial since it's one bar fully connected. This also might be able to be called an orbital technically, even though there's not a ring through it. The way it's arranged could potentially work out to be an orbital. I don't know. The U shape is really throwing me. Let me know if you're a piercer. What would you call this? I would probably call it an industrial over anything else, just because it's one bar connecting it and it's not a full circle of any sort. But it's super cool. So these are basically 3 vertical helix piercings. The 2 outer ones are connected by 1 bar, which I've been harping on this whole time. And then there's just another bar right in the middle that's just a flat back. I'm not sure which ones are fresh. It doesn't really... I'm not sure which ones are fresh or if any of them are fresh. It looks a little bit red, so I'm guessing at least one of them's fresh. I'm guessing that the middle one is healed already, and then the 2 connecting are fresh, just judging by how much room is on that middle one and how flat that disc is on the top. It makes me think it's healed, and I'm thinking they just left a longer bar for the potential swelling of the area, just because I don't think that the extra length on that bar would really give any issue, just because of how big that U-shaped one is with the spikes. But you can see here, a lot of people like to put spikes on vertical helix piercings, which is super cool. And I've been on this one for long enough now. This is super cool and unique. Vertical helix piercings, just going vertically up through the top. Oh, so good, so good. Okay, this one, I'm pretty sure I've shown this before. But either way, let's just comment on it. I think I showed this for the jewelry, but this is another example. Really beautiful vertical helix. This might be a unique idea if you, like I was saying earlier, the direction of an industrial. If you had an industrial that maybe failed you before, a lot of people, like when they can't like properly heal an industrial, or when their industrial gives them issues, a lot of people get industrials that are really poorly done, like poorly placed, because a lot of people don't have proper anatomy for industrials. All this to say, sometimes, I think majority of the time when I see industrials online that are poorly done, it's the bottom part of the industrial that is like being pushed out, but the top tends to be pretty sturdy. And while this piercing is like fully vertical, I could imagine it tilted slightly. That's basically the location of an industrial piercing. So if you ever had a failed industrial and you just have the top hole left over, maybe you don't like the look of like the chains with the ring, you could probably get a side set gem like this. You could custom order it probably from almost anywhere, like Anatometal, Neometal, Industrial Strength, BVLA, all those places. You could probably get either threadless or a threaded end side set just like this and wear it in an industrial. I'm not a piercer. I can't order it for you, but definitely ask a piercer about it. It might be an option for you, because I think the look of this side set gem, this also could have been like from a nipple barbell or something. Like if you have old nipple jewelry that you don't really wear, you could probably, like a side set nipple jewelry, so it's like forward facing, you could probably figure out a way to make that work. Depends on the size of the piercing and all that jazz. Obviously, ask a piercer. But this is super cool, super unique. Obviously love the gold. Pretty sure I showed this though, so let's just keep it moving. This one, I feel like I've showed all of these before. Did I show this? This is probably in my saved ones. I'll have to look. I don't want to spend too much time on it if I've showed this before, but these, once again, another vertical. You can see this one's a really good example of the vertical. These ones look a little bit tilted, but this person was probably pierced in a way that just fits their anatomy. Every ear is different. Every shape is different. Now, someone's ear might bend a little bit backwards, so if they were to get a bunch of vertical industrials, they might not all be like in a straight line in terms of like what the eye can visually see, because you got to think the piercer still has to pierce the ear perpendicular to the anatomy. Even if it's a vertical industrial, they're not just gonna pierce vertical, they have to pierce also perpendicular to the anatomy while having it vertical. So this might be a good example of the piercer had to make sure there was enough room for the piercing and that it was perpendicular while also piercing it vertical. So it sort of looks like the front one is probably a little bit more centered, like in the ear. Actually, the middle one looks the most centered, I guess. And then the front one is a little bit tilted forward, and then the back one is tilted back. This could be for any variety of reasons. I think I see a ball towards the front. Maybe this is angled this way to kind of flow a little bit better with their forward helixes. I don't really know. Either way, this is really pretty jewelry. I really love how it's like, they're not really cones, but they're little like, they're kind of little domes, and I think that looks so good. A lot of people do spikes for the vertical helixes. Spikes are never, like, have never really been like something I was like excited about. Like, a lot of people love spikes, and I get it, like, they're cool, I guess. Like, I'm not really a spike person, but I feel like this is a really cool alternative if you like the look of the vertical piercings, or if you just want more piercings and you have no other ideas. The vertical piercings are cool even without spikes. You can have ends that really look good. I don't know if you could see, I probably have makeup on it, but on my nose I have a little crown end here. These crown ends would look super cool as a vertical helix like this, because then you could see the side set, because it's from the top, this just looks like an opal, but from the side you can see the little crown detail. So like, there's so much jewelry options that can make this piercing go from like just a vertical piercing with a spike or whatever everyone else has to something a lot more unique and just a lot more cooler and unexpected, at least to like a regular person on the street. Like, a regular person on the street would probably expect someone with piercings to have spikes and like blah blah blah, but oh, they might, if they see that crown, or if they see one of these, like, what are these called, Hera ends, if they see any of, like, anything, like, more unique, they would be like, wow, look at her, look at him, look at that ear, it's beautiful. Okay, people don't really notice it that often, but it's for you, isn't it? And I think it's super unique and super cool. So let's just go to the next one. This is, man, did I film this? Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look through some of my videos to see if I filmed this already. But if I did, if you remember me reacting to all these, I don't know. I'll probably just still leave this posted for whoever might not have seen that video, if I spent all the time to edit this one. Anyway, oh my god, I'm getting distracted. Because I swear I remember talking about these. Maybe I added some of these to the industrial or something. Man, I'm mad. I'm so distracted now. This is a super cute example, 3.5 months into healing. This is a vertical piercing that's pierced with these heart rings. Now, I know a lot of piercers probably wouldn't pierce with these heart rings just because the gap, like sometimes the rings can spin and then the gap, just like any seam ring, can get stuck in the piercing. But this is so cute, and it's like super cool that they're healing with the hearts. I know my friend had a doth piercing that wasn't fully healed yet, and they had one of these hearts in it, and it spun and went into her ear, and I had to help her like dislodge it. And it was, I was like, I'm glad this ain't me, because that was stressful. Because I'm just full of myself. I'm like, thank God it's not me, bye. No, I'm just kidding. But I helped her. We were at work. She was like, oh my gosh. So definitely listen to your piercer, but I don't know if I would seek out to try to get pierced with these hearts, because I don't know. I feel like it's just a disaster waiting to happen. But either way, they're super cool, super cute. I think I have the original hearts, like when they were freshly done, somewhere down lower. So let's just keep looking through these piercings. But these are also vertical, but it's cool that you can use the vertical to now you can see the whole heart. Because a lot of times you can only put these hearts in like a doth piercing because that's the only way you can actually see the shape of the heart. So I feel like the vertical helix here really gives you an opportunity to see the jewelry without it being like tucked away in a rook or like something. And if you already have something else for your doth, or if you just don't want a doth piercing or something like that, like this is a really cool way to have these heart rings without having those other piercings or like having them look kind of weird or something. Anyway, this one. Okay, again with the spikes. This one, it's a little bit simpler, but you can see how the piercings, they don't necessarily look like perfectly even. Like, they're not like super parallel to each other, but that's because I assume these piercings are done straight, right? But the piercer is going to want to try to make sure the piercing is going perpendicular to the anatomy. So just because it doesn't look like perfectly straight doesn't necessarily mean that the piercing is crooked. Like if you look at behind someone's earlobes, like all their earlobe piercings could be straight, but then in the back they could be facing this way or that way. Even helix piercings, like outer helix rims, sometimes the backs like really look crazy because of the angles, but the fronts all look straight and the piercings aren't necessarily crooked. Sometimes it's just the way the ear naturally curves, so the backs are going to be coming out a bunch of weird looking directions, because the important part is where the front is and then where the direction is through the tissue. It has to be in the proper spot on the front and then perpendicular to the tissue just in general. So I don't think, like, if you're thinking like, oh, these are crooked, like they're probably not necessarily crooked. It's just like the angle of the picture. And this is just super cool, like the cones right along the top. Super cool. I know I kind of just dissed them earlier just because, like, you know, it's just like having a ball. It's just like a cone. Like, it's just the types of jewelry that everyone has, so they just don't really like wow me anymore. Like, I just know the potential for jewelry, and jewelry can be so pretty sometimes. But this is a super cool look, and it's still honestly very unique because not a lot of people have vertical helix piercings. A lot of people don't even know what they are. So you'll still be super cool and unique with your like spikes going along the top of your ears. Anyway, let's go to the next one. This one is a little bit different. Unique anatomy. This client wanted to pierce helix rim, and we were able to come up with a placement suited to fit her special ear. This is one of my favorite piercings of all time, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know if this one's necessarily a vertical helix, but it's sort of like one of those helix fold ones, because it looks like it's done with a curved barbell, which is why this flower is kind of facing front a little bit more. And you can see that the bar is going like, it's not like a straight bar through there. So I'm not too sure if this like 100% counts as a vertical helix, but I feel like mentioning the helix fold piercings, you know, you can't really go wrong. It's kind of a similar idea. Maybe if you notice that you're like, oh, these vertical helix piercings are cool, but you notice that your flap is a little bit too big or like something like that, like you think your ear might look different, maybe this could be an option for you too. Like, obviously majority of piercings are anatomy dependent. Like, you have to have the anatomy to suit the piercing. You can't just put any piercing wherever and hope for the best. But this could be a cool alternative if you like the vertical helix look. And even like picturing this like flower on the top of an ear, like a regular vertical helix piercing, you know, it's super cool. And this is like close enough to a vertical helix. I'll keep it in the video. I don't know where I went wrong with that, but this is super cool. I love the gems too, the dark gems. I don't really typically like dark gems, but they kind of stand out, huh? And I like these flower ones where like it's just like a little ends that's like holding the gem. Super cool. And it looks like it's like stained from iodine or something. You can see the yellow on the ear. Anyway, let's go to the next one. This is a vertical helix piercing that is super cool. It says Fun Funky Healed Vertical Helix with Super Cool Cluster from Anatometal. So this is a cluster from Anatometal. You can order from a piercer basically any variety of a cluster. You could have beads, gems. You could probably get like something like the flower from the last post. You could arrange them however you want, and have a vertical helix piercing would probably help maintain the orientation, because if you have something going through the flat of the ear and it's curved like that, sleeping on it wrong or something could probably spin it, Now, apparently that doesn't like usually happen. Usually like it'll stay kind of stationary, but it has the potential to spin, especially if it's only on one point. So if you wanted a really big cluster like this on the top of your ear, but you wanted to avoid any like sagging or tilting, because gravity will affect jewelry, it just does. This might be a good option if you can get a vertical helix and then have this cluster that you're wanting side set instead of like set from the back to be threaded. You could potentially have this cluster on the top of your ear, and it will never like swing down because it's going through a straight post from the top. So it'll be like basically held in place by gravity. Gravity would be holding it in place, like it would hold the orientation for you. So that could be really cool. And if you ever wanted a cluster but you hate the idea of it swinging back and forth, that might be a really good option for you. But I just thought this one was a really pretty and good example of a vertical helix piercing that had a little bit of a different jewelry than we've seen. Usually they show jewelry that's like on the top of the ear, but this is like the purpose of the vertical helix is for the inside of the ear, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's go to the next one. This one, is this the same piercer? I think this is the fresh Nobium hearts. I think this is the fresh version of the hearts we just saw. But so you can see, the thing I noticed about this is if you look back to the other one, it looks like the anodizing wore off. If you didn't know, getting jewelry that's anodized is super cool. You can get different colors like green, purple, blue. I don't know all the colors you can get, but you can like get like an oil slick color. Like you can get all those colors anodized on titanium or nobium, and then you can have pink metal on your piercings, and then it's not paint, which a lot of times colored piercings are paint, so you really got to be careful. So only titanium and nobium can be anodized, but the thing is with anodization, it's sort of like gold plating. I guess gold plating can flake off. Anodizing can't flake off. It's not like bad. There's nothing going to get into your piercing, but it can wear off. Anodizing over time will wear off. It's basically like, imagine if you polish something and then over time like things hit it and stuff, the polish isn't going to be maintained. So the anodizing is like a surface layer where like a chemical reaction, I'm not sure how anodizing works, some sort of reaction turns the metal a certain color, but over time with enough wear, it sort of like polishes back into like the normal color of the metal, if that makes sense. So I don't know why I felt like including that, but here we are. Anyway, next one. I don't think there's too many. Next one, another one where the more important part of the jewelry is on the inside. I just love these prong gems, and this gem is so pretty. It's like a crystal ball. It's like a, I don't know, it's like so mystical. It's like smoky. I wonder if it says smoky, gorgeous 4mm claw set moonstone. Yeah, I thought it was moonstone. Well, I said it in my head, I swear. But, oh, it looks so good. Just looks so good. And imagine, like, you could probably, like, once that heals, put chains on it. Like, oh, it could look so cool. I mean, it already looks so cool, but this looks so nice. Love it. I love it with the pearl earring, too. Normally, I don't like the, like, standard earlobe jewelry because I'm a friggin' snob. But, I just love how it like hangs, and like if you like things that hang, like maybe a vertical helix will go with like your aesthetic of like really drapey hanging things. I just think it's really cool, really nice, and beautiful. And these claw set stones are super cool too. Anyway, next one. This one, more spikes. Oh, this is the last one. These are more spikes. I swear I've talked about these. I must have talked about these. I'm so mad, but I don't think I've said the same words, at least. It's no fun to watch videos if it's just all the same things to react to, but maybe this is more of an informative video than like a reaction video. Either way, so pretty. I love the different varieties of these fopals, and I don't know, like see how they're spikes. You could get spikes that aren't even like metal cones. You can get opals. Opals are like so pretty. Let's see all the different angles. Oh, this person's so cool. Okay, there's not any other angles. So cool. I love, it just reminds me of like a dinosaur, like a stegosaurus or something. So rad, so rad. And so unique. This jewelry is kind of all over the place, but I think I love it. Sorry, my laptop, which is my microphone, died. I should have had it plugged in since I was using it like this. But regardless, that was the last post for the vertical helix piercings. So I'll say comment down below what types of videos would you like to see next. Let me know which vertical helix was your favorite setup. I think my favorite one, I don't know, they were all pretty cool. I think obviously I'm gonna have to go with the gold. I think I'm gonna have to go with those 3 Hera end ones. They're just so classy, you know? I just love gold. But we all knew that. We all knew that. Anyway, comment down below what was your favorite one, and let me know, would you ever get a vertical helix piercing? Do you already have one? I'd love to know. Man, I'm so awkward anymore. What the heck? Definitely send me things to react to if you'd like to see my reactions to anything on Instagram, TikTok, anything like that. Links in the description if you want to check that out. Check out my tattoo Instagram if you want to see the tattoos I've been doing. I am a tattoo apprentice, like I said, so I'm still learning, but you know, whatever you want. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope I inspired you to maybe get a vertical helix piercing or see if you have the anatomy for it. And I love you. See you in the next one. Bye. Just kidding, I'm just kidding. I'm so weird. These things are like hurting my ears. Like, what the heck? Oh no, it's in this ring. Oh, it's not. This is just another ring looped on the ring. Oh, silly me. Hold on, what's going on here? What? Oh, why is this so difficult? What? Did it?